I'm officially live. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take a look at my little picture. My little thumbnail. I want you to look at that. Because I can assure you that is how mobile live stream selfies would look like on YouTube. Just saying. Now, you know me. And I will admit I am set in stone. I am very, very strong about, again, things being fair. Everyone being on the same playing field. I can reinforce all those things over and over and over again. However, the deal is that, and I'm here to tell you, if you do your research into something, if you're determined and you're really focused upon attaining something, then do some digging and see what you find. Now, if you followed me today on my YouTube channel, then you probably saw a live stream done off of my phone. Now it's an option. Now it is an option. I have absolutely no idea why YouTube restricts this simple click a button, type stuff in, click live on your phone, anywhere, everywhere. That's it. At the end, that's all it is. That's it. I don't see why that would be a cause for a certain number of subscribers. If anything, every tool should be offered to you immediately once you join the platform. Okay, yeah, you get a bigger following. And yes, it kind of is worth that bigger following to attain the 3 features. Live streaming off a mobile device. 50 subscribers, I created 18 more accounts to my already 32 accounts. And I tried live streaming and it just didn't work and it was overcomplicated. So then I ended up finding a video, put it on my Facebook page about how to live stream on your phone. This video is for anyone. And lo and behold, I received a wonderful way to do it. Maybe without the little handy dandy, click go live and then, the selfies and, all those things. But are those things really important? Do those things really matter at all? Do those things matter? They don't. They really don't. They're just extra features. They're just extra. That's what they are. Extra. And so I've done that. I've done the mobile live streaming. And I may continue to do it. Anyone can do it. And that's the way I'm going to continue to do it. When I want to do a mobile live stream, I can do a mobile live stream. It's an option. And anytime I am proud of something and I am advertising something, then you can get it too if you want to. The fact that, okay, you're a YouTube creator and you've attained mobile live streaming on YouTube, the app, directly, you can check that off the list. The community tab, and there's these things called stories. So basically these little sort of, gosh, I hate saying this, rip-offs of Facebook. You can find all three of those features on Facebook. They were originally on Facebook to begin with. And then YouTube inserted them, but with, a price. Like, for instance, I'm giving you this garden of fruit. But guess what? There are no, I'm just going to use my favorite fruits. Plums, peaches, what was the other fruit? Cantaloupe. Okay, so no plums, no peaches, no cantaloupe, but everything else. The fact is, okay, yeah, I don't want to get into the technicalities. Basically, you get it. If there's a will, there's a way. If there is a will, there is a way. If there's a desire, if there's a, emotional kind of, why does this person have something that I don't? I don't believe in selling people things that they, the common people, including myself, the common people can't afford. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in guilting people. I don't believe in making people feel bad. I don't believe in lowering people's self-worth and gratitude for the things that they have. The least that I would do is, hey, here's this app, and I am offering this to you if you want it, and you can get it easily. I make these rules that they may seem like silly, restrictive rules, but they're for good reasons. I don't make them for nothing. Okay. Not everyone has access to mobile live streaming off of YouTube, the community tab and stories that they can create. Not everyone has access to those YouTube features. So why rub it in people's face that, oh, look, I have this great thing and look what I can do, and gosh, I love my life with this, and this is so fun, and Yeah. And so many people don't have what you have. It's kind of rude. It's like, by gosh, I'm throwing Food Network under the bus now. It's like if I was watching a TV show of somebody, eating something amazing or showing off their, the beautiful pool and etc. And then you get into comparisonitis. Celebrate what you have, but it has to be fair. That's why, no community tab posts, no live streaming directly off of YouTube, the app YouTube off of your phone, and no stories. That's the other thing too. I am never, ever, 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 ever going to use any of those features on YouTube. Because I don't want to contribute to what is already a lot of those features being used and it being unequal and so many people who take advantage of all those things. Well, I would love to. However, I'm thinking about the audience and I'm thinking about being fair and being humble, being like showing humility. I can tell, I may have said, I have never gone on TikTok. I will never go on TikTok. Well, that's a lie. Not everything I say is super explicit, specific. But maybe there's another way to do it. Pam Gregory can do portions and then put the portions of her videos onto TikTok. All you need to do is just edit it or, make short little videos off of your computer and just put it in there. You wouldn't have to get on your phone. You wouldn't have to download the app if you didn't want to. Same with YouTube. So it's both a site and an app at the same time. Now, as I said, never say never. I will never. I may have said, "Oh, I'm not going to get on any other social media." Well, guess what? You know how that worked out. My self-ridiculing gremlin would say, "Oh wait, you have a YouTube channel, but you don't have a Facebook page." Well, check. TikTok's the other thing that is just kind of a the third thing. They're not puzzle pieces, but anyway. So they're social media platforms. So anyway, I can tell you that I will never, ever, ever, ever once in my life use a community post. I wish I could. Maybe when they declare, hey, maybe if you have a subscriber or no subscribers, then it's open, it's free. Well, then I'll use it. But I would be doing people a favor by not using it, and you would be doing people a favor by not using it. You would be doing this Amenten a favor. You would be doing me a favor. I have everything that I need and want in terms of what's provided on YouTube. What is provided on YouTube. Now, also provided, separate editing softwares and other stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean? There's so, many things out there, So, yeah. I'm just talking about, features on the application and the website. Is that I have everything set up. Even if I can get live streaming off the phone, I will do it the exact same way, because what difference does it make? And I will have to discipline myself to resist the temptation to do something that is just unfair to so many other channels out there, so many other accounts, so many other creators that have less or more subscribers. So I would be doing a disservice to them, and you would be doing a disservice to them and everyone as well. Well, not everyone, but a lot of channels. So, channels on YouTube. So, yeah. All of the community posts are on Facebook. There, you can find so much more posts of your favorite creators on Facebook than you can find in the community posts. So I believe I have everything, and I'm satisfied, and I'm good, and you are all the same, and you all should be. And I'm sorry I'm speaking for you. I'm sorry I'm preaching, but you all should feel the same. I've looked at your channels. I have said this before, and I've seen the counting of subscribers. If you live stream off of, okay, so here's the deal. If you are live streaming on YouTube off of a mobile device, and the administrators sitting up in those tech rooms watching your moves on YouTube, they go find your mobile live stream. And if they see a selfie, if they see a picture of something else, a picture of nature, a picture that looks as if it was taken with a phone, then that's when they will get in, and they will be posting the comments and trying to get you to stop the live stream. They may even have to get in and sabotage it, stop it. Or they may just get rid of it after it's done. They may force you to get rid of the live stream, or maybe download the live stream. Okay, now that's a compromise. That's a compromise. Okay. Let me just back up here. As far as I'm concerned right now, they're going to ask you to change the thumbnail. They are going to ask you to change the thumbnail of the live stream. So that's just what I want to say. So now, with this new option in store, you can do mobile live streams and you don't have to download them. But if they see a thumbnail, they will ask you to change that thumbnail. You may be live at the moment, but after you get done with the live stream, you have to change the thumbnail. Wait, you know what, actually? You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna... okay. Yeah, this is why these things are live. Okay, I say one thing, I change my mind. Guess what? When I got my phone, everything was fine with it. There was nothing wrong with it. I didn't scratch it or pour water on it or anything like that. And it was perfectly fine. Didn't make any difference at all, but I had an emotional and mental footprint of an internal feeling, of an internal inertia that to this day I still have and I'm still working with. I'm not going to pretend to be anyone I'm not. Not going to, pretend to entertain when it's just not my style. And, I hope that I'm not, boring the audience when I talk. I'm just being who I am. That's it. That's the full picture of it. That's complete. Doesn't matter if you change the thumbnail or leave it. It was still done off of the app. And you will be asked to delete it. You will be asked to remove it. Do it again live on that separate application, or you can make a video or do it under, whatever. Maybe you could just post about what you said and, this and that. If you post or mention or talk about what happened and the specifics, well, you can express yourselves if you want to. Well, yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, I don't think, it's your deal. It's your own channel. I think that those people have enough on their plate, let alone that. And then listening to the video and seeing if you said anything against my Amenten. I give you freedom to do that. Just as, in my belief, it is my belief that you have the freedom to express yourself and say how you feel and what you think. So that's what I will say. But, if you get caught doing it, if one of those admins sees your smiley face and maybe you're outside, or maybe it looks as if you're on the phone, or maybe it's at a fancy angle, or maybe you added an effect to it, maybe you got really up close and smiled, or showed another face and it looks like it was done on a phone, well, then to know for sure, they're going to click on the live stream. And if it happened, because sometimes it's kind of hard to tell if it was done on a computer, then it's obvious, then okay, well, they'll leave you alone. But if and sometimes it may be hard to tell. They may ask you, is this done off of a phone or computer? If the people just can't distinguish. And you have to be honest and say, guess what? I admit that I opened the app and I live stream directly off of YouTube. And when you give them that answer, if the case may be that, then you will need to and you will be forced to remove the live stream. You will be forced to remove it. You will have to remove it. And there may be consequences. There may be it all just depends. It all really, really just depends. In fact, you might be forced to disable it. You might be forced to get on your phone, watched over by men in suits, physically watched over, or whatever form can be feasible and reasonable, forced to, you know what? Okay. How many of you, I don't know how just say, well, okay. Well, maybe there's some features. I don't want to get into the technicalities. For those of you who do not have the YouTube Live on the actual app installed yet, or activated up yet, then don't activate it. For those of you who do have it activated, then you need to deactivate it. Cut it off. So, yeah, I'm kind of going in, so many different directions with this live stream. I say one thing and then I contradict myself. Yeah. So, you know what? I'm just going to pull the complete and full plug. No, no nothing like that. So, that's all that I really want to say. The other night there was some typecasting of a certain actor on Darman's films, and I believe I am going to find that actor, and maybe he'll come to my Amenten. And maybe I will just ask him some questions and have a little interview sit down, which, if he is open and says yes, we'll go on the Amenten website and the one of my Facebook page or somebody else's Facebook page, privately, of course. And then of course on the Amenten website, which is totally secretive, totally hidden away, as you all know. So it's yeah. So well, anyway, so I think it's really, really important that I sit down and talk with him. Because I personally am watching these films and I really don't like this. I really, really don't like just continually putting somebody as playing the wrong one or the bad guy, even though it's the main character. And often the main character ends up being the bad guy. The protagonist ends up being the antagonist at the same time. And that, my friends, is something, a joking phrase that goes like this: Adonte con lava d'una lape. Meaning, medicine to put you on the person's side. So you're basically flipping around the roles. So, okay, there's a protagonist to the film, the main character, and then there is the antagonist. But you know what? I find that Darman in some of his films is rewiring people's psychology, rewiring my psychology, rewiring my psyche. So the antagonist becomes the protagonist, and any side character or the even if the protagonist is acting antagonistic or the bad guy, then that would be then I would support that protagonist who is acting antagonistic. I would be on this person's side. I would feel sorry. I do feel sorry for these people, for the characters in the narratives. I do. Because that is what Darman does in some of his films. He creates the film so that you really feel for that person who's doing wrong, who happens to be the protagonist in the film. And everyone else who is more, right-minded, like-minded, would be the opposite, where they would be the antagonists. And so you may find yourself playing devil's advocate. Don't be surprised. It's perfectly natural and perfectly welcome and acceptable and understandable. Okay? For instance, why do I feel sorry for a guy that's trying to ruin a girl's birthday party? Why do I feel sorry for a YouTuber who is doing all these negative things? And the list goes on and on and on. Well, the main character, yes, feeling for that person, caring for that person, being on that person's side. And so Darman can rewire people's psyche into being on the side of the person who's doing wrong. This isn't the case in every film, but several of the films, this is the case. With the super obvious headlines on the videos and the thumbnails in the videos, and to have like a sundae that you're getting from McDonald's, and then you add whipped cream on it, and then you add a cherry, then you add this particular person who time and time and again gets placed in these negative roles just because of his personality, just because of his mannerism. Now, this isn't the case for every person. There are people. There's one actress who plays in his films that appears naturally compassionate, and she is placed in naturally in compassionate roles, and also she is placed in negative roles of where she is the one hurting this other person, insulting, attacking, whatever the deal is. However, I have noticed that this person has been put in a box. Oh, you know, if you talk like this and you have these mannerisms, you're going to play the bad characters. Like, finger pointing. You do this. You play the bad characters. Hear how colloquial that was. I was being colloquial and I was being kind of bland in my wording. I'm very, very aware of that. But equally so is the obvious formula. Okay, I want you to find formulas in the films. I found several formulas. Well, here's this formula. Okay, the typecasting. And so, I have seen several films of this. I'm not saying that this is bad. I mean, it's not ideal, and I personally don't get it, and I just have my own sort of thoughts and feelings. But at the same time, my sun moon opposition that I was born with my Libra moon, in Aries sun, sort of in opposition to each other. So yeah, so anyway, so I do feel for this particular actor in particular, if he is the main role of the films and does wrong in the films. I don't think it's the first time that I have ever mentioned this. I recall way back last month when I was on live very, very late at night and talking about this film and how it drained me, how made me feel this emotion and this emotion over here, this emotion over there. The main character. Sometimes these people don't deserve the rubbing it in. Sometimes these people don't deserve the outside, judgments and lay-ins to this person. I believe that the film should have a happy and resolved ending, where the person should be as true as they were from the time that they began the film, from the time that they ended. I mean, when it comes to apologies, most important thing is it has to be genuine. It has to be genuine. It can't come from the pressure and the forcing of everyone else in the outside environment. I was livid when I was watching a little portion of an episode of World's Strictest Parents. And basically what happened in this episode was that they were in this 1960s style school, and these kids did something wrong. These boys did wrongdoings, and they wrote out in written form on a piece of paper, basically pet rocking their apology to the headmistress or whatever the person was. And then she ended it like, and they had to do this. They had to do this. They were forced to do it. And I was listening, and I don't think it sounded genuine. It's as fake can be. It is as scripted can be. It is as perfect can be, all a setting on a dryer. Don't take my word for that. But I am so against presentations that are not authentic, that don't come from within, that don't come from, they don't have the gravitas. Like this. This, as best as I can define gravitas, this is authenticity. This is gravitas. I don't think that I'm monotone or boring you. I'd like to think that I'm not. And I hope that you can see that as well. And sort of perceive that as well with, what I'm doing, what I'm saying here. So they read these apologies off of this piece of paper, written out, scripted, in monotone voice. It sounded, they sounded shy, they sounded uncomfortable, timid, rehearsed. It sounded forced. It sounded compressed, tight, unopen, inauthentic. And then she said, I hope that they meant it. Well, yeah, if you really, really want kids, those teenagers, to mean it, then it has to come from them. And it has to come from them on their own initiative, when they genuinely want to apologize, when they genuinely feel like, you know what, my soul is saying to me, guess what, this is wrong, apologize. There are several factors in the films that are very, very, very well done, I will have to say. They do have a little. So if I would be, if it was a food truck and I was going up to this food truck or this restaurant or cafe or whatever, and I was tasting their food, it would taste really, really addictive and good. But then there would be just a frequency, an element that would just, all of a sudden I'm eating this and I don't know, I just feel irritated all of a sudden. I don't know why. Well, that's the little insertions, that's the little, phrase, lesson, moral. It's actually a moral, actually. It's actually a moral. There's no, like, hands down, it's a moral. Amoral, not immoral. So, immoral. So, anyway, yeah, these little, one-liner phrases. For instance, a couple big ones is, what happens in the dark always comes to light. Now, if you saw Thomas and Friends, and if you saw Bill and Ben, and you are familiar with Bill and Ben, then I could definitely see them making a little joke about that and teasing it. And you know what? I don't blame the characters in the film for joking at it and disregarding it, because I definitely resonate with hearing things that I know in my consciousness, in my mind, but then I'm hearing from the outside world. Like, that's kind of one of my pet peeves, is when people tell me stuff that I already know. It is so irritating. It is irritating. And so that kind of hits me when I hear that. So yeah, if you want to laugh at that, if you want to tease about it or joke about it, by all means. but it is when your tune changes, and your tune changes when you feel differently, and when you put in your own words and rephrase it, and the complexities of life, and the distinctions, and the rainbow with many, many different colors, and the sort of melting pot of all that there is in the intellectual and emotional realms, because you have your feelings, and then your words, mind, intellect, kind of thing, Mercury. So and Mercury was direct when I made that live stream, but anyway, when I did that live stream, so not that makes any difference, of course, but yeah, so in those films, yeah, so they sort of say it at the beginning, remember, and there's a saying, and then, at the end they have that saying, and, I'm just, there's still that obvious element in the films, though. There's still the obvious, clear in your face, just by, I don't know, reading the title of the headlines of the videos. Okay, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And then you get into the specifics of these different things. I think I'm taking this too seriously. But I am not being dishonest. Now, there is definitely a compassion that comes, well, maybe there is a compassion, but there's an understanding for this particular actor and the characters that he plays when he is placed in a film. It is probably someone who does wrong. And okay, I see it once. Well, I know whose side I'm supporting, but even if all them, anyone who does bad or wrong, I feel more on their side. Maybe there's another reason is context. Maybe there's not enough context build up. Maybe the ending is so obvious. And is there anything else that I want to say? There was like a soap bubble that gosh, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought now. Oh yeah. It's all a matter of this person does wrong. The audience has to forgive and show love and understanding and compassion without ripping the person off, without not giving the bad guy a second chance, without the understanding. And that's the other thing. It almost kind of makes you feel kind of sorry for this person. Like, darn. All those emotions, all the, all those feelings. And as an Aries sun, it definitely stirs up that warrior energy inside of me. The underdog isn't just the black and white victim. The underdog could also be the bad guy. So, One little tidbit is, I am Mars and Gemini, and they can see all sides of a coin, all sides of the spectrum. But so anyway, specifically for this, I see this occurring. This actor gets put these rules continually, and yeah, it's clear that the message that you want to send is really to be on that person's side and to really care for that person and support the person who does wrong. Support this particular actor placed in films playing bad guys or whatever role that he that does wrong. And you feel care towards that. You feel understanding. The same words that I used before, the same, descriptions that I used. So, that's just the honest truth. So, I believe that I have clarified that more than I did last night. If something feels forced, if something feels like it's not just coming naturally or I have to force myself to do it, then I will not do it. I won't get caught in that. Just go along with the luck. That's what I'll do. Now, that's something that I'm going to say. That's really it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.